Hey, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alan Diaz. I'm excited to bring you another episode of The Power to Gain Wealth. And this is what excites me, is we are dealing with what I call and what some have coined as manifested AI. In fact, the only other person really to use that has been Jeff Brown, and I'll talk more about him later on. It was in a comment where we got this name, and basically Elon Musk was giving a speech, and he was talking about AI that's going to be manifested into the world, and then that kind of started to take off through Jeff. And now that I've seen it, now that I've been a part of it, now that I'm invested in it, it has been life-changing. And I want to encourage you. I'm going to go in through the details of what it is, what it looks like here in real time and on our planet, and also, finally, how can you get involved in it? Can you invest in it? What does that look like? All right. So basically, what is manifested AI? Manifested AI refers to artificial intelligence, of course, that is not just theoretical or running in the background, not on some computer desktop or on some computer screen, but it's tangible, it's visible, it's interactive in the real world. It's AI that takes form in the physical or experiential ways and actively engages with people, systems, environments, and all kinds of different scenarios and things, which is going to be incredibly amazing. It's changing the world. And guess what? Whether you like it or not, whether you think it's something evil, good, bad, wrong, it doesn't matter, because it's coming, and it's coming fast. And it's changing so rapidly, it's impacting everything we do. In fact, I want to go through some of the things that we're going to be looking at that you guys are going to see, and it's going to be mind-blowing. I mean, think about this, right? Watch this. Imagine you're in the bathroom and you're getting yourself ready for the morning, and your mirror knows you. It actually is connected to all kinds of computers, and what it does is it actually can tell, hey, you have a dry patch here, or you need some medicine here, or you need this cream application over here. It'll be able to look at it and say, hey, you need more vitamin D, or you need this. It actually can judge and look at that and actually report back to your dermatologist and letting them know what's going on with your face so they can set an appointment to help you out. This is mind-blowing stuff, guys. This is what's coming. This is what's being built right now. So these are things like robots, right, that act like people. Personal assistants, they're going to walk with you. They're going to talk with you. They're going to help you with physical tasks. They're going to cook. They're going to clean the house. They're going to give caregiving. It's coming, and we can't even stop this. Retail bots that greet customers, stock shelves, and walk you to the items that you want to see or try on or check out, right? There's going to be autonomous systems like self-driving cars, and we know this is already taking place in countries like Singapore and certain Asian countries that are testing it out, right? Cars are going to pull up. It's going to look like something out of almost like Star Wars, right? This thing pulls up, except right now they'll have wheels. Maybe in the future they will not. And it'll pull up, you get in, there's no driver, it just takes you, there's no track, there's nothing. Takes you where you want to go. It might pick up one or two people, depending on if you're renting one that is for you personal or if you're just getting a community connector, right? And what's crazy is these things are happening now. Eventually, we won't need taxis. There'll be no need for a taxi driver. They'll be gone. There'll be no need for Uber. There'll be no need. Well, maybe Uber and them will own a lot of these vehicles and control them, so they'll probably still figure out a way. But it is coming fast, ladies and gentlemen. Wearable tech monitors, right? That monitors your body, and how you speak, and actually what's going on with your health. There'll be wristbands. That's what they're looking at right now. And these things monitor everything from your heartbeat to your blood pressure to the amount of sugar in your system to the vitamins and minerals in your body. Reports back to the doctor, and everything's going to be incredibly tracked. In fact, there are a couple cities where one in Saudi Arabia, one of them is the dream of Elon Musk to build, but these are going to be cities where everything is right there at your fingertips. You could literally talk in the air, on the street, addressing a robot, and it will find you the answers and do all those kinds of things. And this is the kind of thing that's being worked on. Or think about this, right? Generative AI. For business and media, AI that creates realistic virtual people, avatars, influencers, and we see it happening right now, but it's going to happen in 3D, not just on a computer screen or on a video screen. It's actually coming, ladies and gentlemen. Customer service reps, things like that are standing there and they're helping you out. They look like a human being. They act like a human being. They talk like a human being. And they're going to be robots that are avatars helping you through that process. We've seen that in movies, right? But anything that we've been able to imagine, we've pretty much been able to create. I just can't wait till we create the time where, I can say, hey, Scotty, beam me up. And all of a sudden you just zap away into another area. We're probably a little ways away from that. But the things that we thought were only made of dreams are coming right now, and they are hitting our world, and they're growing fast, right? AI-generated music. We can already do that, right? You can literally create music with a singer that never existed. It's going to be game changer. Movies are being made. Commercials are being made with AI. And even video games are being made. You can create apps. You can create websites, all using AI. But there's going to be actually avatars that look like humans that are making these for you, that you meet with, that you could touch, you could see with your eyes right there in front of you. It's changing everything. Think about this, how AI is going to accelerate its influence in our homes, right? You're going to have hyper-personalized living. Your home is actually going to study you, know your schedule, know your habits, know your preferences, and it's going to adjust the lighting, the climate, the temperature, the appliances, all automatically based on you. It's going to try to interpret and understand your moods so it could set it up every time you come in, specially designed for you after mastering your schedule and monitoring you. Robot companions. You may have physical AI helper that assists. We talked about the elder care, child care, things like that. Wherever you're at on this, I'm not a big fan of that, but they're even looking at robots as companions. And so that's a little bit strange, weird, but hey, it's happening, right? Hands-free everything. Check this out. Cooking, cleaning, shopping, and even maintenance will shift towards automation and prediction, right? So your houses are going to be able to take care of themselves. If it has a problem, it'll have a robot that comes and fixes it if you don't already own one. I guess one of the things that Elon's talking about, and several other people that are working on all these kinds of different robots, the going price at the first rate of robots that are going to come out are about $30,000. They're going to be able to do, at the beginning stages, minimal stuff, right? As they continue to work on the technology and the technique of how they function. But over time, we're looking at, here comes George Jetson. They're going to be doing the cooking, doing the cleaning, taking care of all that stuff. It is coming so fast. Literally, our engineers, our scientists cannot keep up how fast AI is coming because AI is now programming its own self. And this is happening in real time. Interesting enough, think about this, your home refrigerator. Whoa, check this out. This is just one more example. So they're going to be setting up optics that work with things like cars, things that move, robots. They're going to be putting them in things that need to monitor you, all that kind of stuff. It'll be set up with optics, and this is coming soon, where you buy your food, and in general, everybody shops and buys basically the same basic kind of food, right? About 80 to 90% of what you put in your fridge, you have there every single day. You rarely ever diverge from what you normally eat. So your refrigerator is going to be watching that. It's going to study your habits. It's going to notice, let's say you buy like you always put in like 5 coconut waters in there, right? Well, once you get down to 3, it just orders it. It just directly orders that. Now, it's going to do it in a variety of different ways. One, it'll either have it delivered and it'll just ship in and it'll be brought directly to your house. Or 2, it'll work in conjunction with the home robot that either drives the car out there if you're still running a gas car. It'll drive it to the shopping center. It'll go to Costco. It'll go to the shopping stores that you prefer. It'll pick out the brands that you prefer. Or it will obviously hop into an electric car and that robot will be taken there. So there's so many crazy things that are coming. It's going to completely change how we as human beings exist. Maybe some are speculating, like for example in Switzerland, the average person there works about 6 hours a day. and they have a really high income. Their average income is about $150,000 a year, whereas America, the average income is about $35,000 a year. So they make a lot more money there. And people get 3 months off a year for vacation. Well, some are speculating that as we master AI, the average human in like places like more modern countries like America, they are going to work maybe 3-4 hours a day, and that's it. And they're going to get vacations and all kinds of stuff because we have so many robots doing our work. Now, I am going to give you some things like, because probably by now, before I continue on in this, people are thinking, well, what in the world are we going to do? I'm going to answer that in a minute, and it's going to blow your mind. It's actually going to open doors to mass investments, and it's going to be mind-blowing. And if you want to be a part of that with me, you just have to reach out, because we are diving into that area and that arena full force. I'm not there yet. You got to hold on. I'm going to bring you there in a minute. So don't forget, how do we remedy this? What are we as humans going to be doing? All right. So think about this. In work, right? Now your businesses can be running 24/7 with robots as receptionists, right? This manifested AI does not sleep ever. So customer service, manufacturing, right? Constantly. There's no shut-off times. You work 8 hours, 10 hours, you go home, the manufacturing company shuts down. No, things are going to come faster. They're going to come easier. They're going to become cheaper because they're being produced by non-humans. Not just software, ladies and gentlemen, but construction bots are actually being worked on. That might take a little bit longer because there's some terrain they have to get through when they're working on things, but it is coming. Surgical assistants that can actually do heart surgeries to almost perfection. That's being worked on, right? Warehouse robots that are constantly stacking. Think of all the backs that are going to be saved. It's going to be mind-blowing, right? There will be fewer traditional jobs and more tech-reliant jobs, right? Some manual jobs will disappear. In fact, most of them will. I mean, usually your fast food, they'll probably all be gone. There'll be cooks. There might be just one person in a fast food place that just monitors the robots, make sure there's no kinks going on. If there are, then they call in, help or whatever they need. But all that is going away. And think about this, in society, there's going to be all kinds of interesting things, like how do we integrate with robots? How do we work with them? How do we communicate with them? What does that look like? There's going to be some ethical and moral dilemmas that we're going to have to face as we're trying to work with them and figure out how to do life with these robots, right? There'll be new forms of identity. People may form emotional attachments to AI beings. We don't know. I mean, people will form attachments to all kinds of things, from trees to plants to turtles to animals. It's, so we don't know what that'll look like. It's going to be a whole different realm. Maybe there'll be all different kinds of therapy. And so there's one giveaway right there, right? There'll be therapists who can actually handle the emotional chaos or disturbance or distractions that human beings are going through, because they're going to need to help them. So therapists will become something that might be quite popular during that time. How do we deal with and live in this new reality? The reality might get slightly blurred because it's going to be different, right? Different voices, different personalities become indistinguishable from actual real people. This is coming. Truth and authenticity will become harder to actually verify. What is your authentic self when eventually you don't even know if that is a robot or not, right? These things are coming. Now, so with all the modern technology that is screaming forward, how does this affect us? Well, let me just take an interesting perspective here from the United States. Many people don't realize what our current administration is doing, and so you'll need to look into this, but it's quite powerful. While all the other countries are dealing with struggles and wars and famine and difficulties and challenges, of course, there's a lot of modern countries that aren't dealing with that, right? But what we are doing is we are capitalizing on AI. We will probably end up being the hub of pretty much all AI as we continue to move forward. Think about this. Mr. Wang, who owns or is the CEO of NVIDIA, the first thing our administration did was sign a contract that all the AI machines, you have to have incredibly fast machines with fast semiconductors and things that could process super fast. In fact, it has to get faster to be able to allow every robot to aggregate the information that it's collecting, plus all the data through its own personal research, and to be able to choose wisely the best pathway for each one of its owners and or its employees, right? And so what's happening is that's going to be really interesting, right? We're going to be challenged with that. So as it comes, we're going to have to deal with what kind of jobs can we as humans do? Well, I'll tell you, it's quite interesting. Think about this. So eventually people are going to get tired of AI-driven movies. So guess what is probably going to become one of the biggest forms of entertainment in the world again? It was once before. It was back in the early medieval ages, but now it's coming back. That's right, plays. Plays that are designated human-only plays. And guess what? It's going to be incredibly fun. It's going to have amazing stories. These plays and these theaters will be open only for humans to attend and only for humans to act in, and only human writers produce the content. And that way we still continue to keep and maintain our human distinctive, right? Which is going to be pretty interesting. So that's one of the things we're doing is we're going to be buying up theaters across America. And so people who want to get involved in that with us, you might want to reach out, because that's one of the pathways we're going. In fact, my staff listening to me now didn't even know I'd already determined this 8 months ago. And so they're going to be blown away at where we're going, right? And so this is going to be mind-blowing, right? Now think about this. You can go to a restaurant where it's all computerized, it's all AI, it's all people. They have some semblance of interaction. You're eating your food, you're doing your thing. But at the end of the day, we all want human collaboration. We want to know that we're dealing with a human that has actually lived these said experiences, who can understand the true value of a soul. What is a soul? What is love? Not a definition. How do you feel love? And so, interesting enough, people will actually go on dates and they'll go to designated restaurants that are designated human. In other words, human cooks, human chefs, because sometimes with robots, you can get perfect food exactly the way you want it. But sometimes life is not experienced in the perfection. Sometimes it's experienced in the anomalies and the things that woo us and wow us, because we weren't expecting that flavor, even though it wasn't necessarily intended. But that particular substance, whatever it is, like garlic or turmeric or some herb, just was put in there a little strong, and it actually gave joy, because it was like, wow, this is amazing. I never thought of this kind of taste or flavor. And they'll go there because they want human interaction with real-time servers and hostesses. So people will spend more to go to them, because obviously it costs more to have humans do things, but they'll do that on specialized dates. So you'll see these fancy high-level restaurants where people may be going in suits and ties, and maybe after that a theater and things like that, and they'll enjoy life, but they'll pay for that experience. But and the beauty is there will still be things for people to do, right? There will be therapy, there'll be psychology, there'll be medicine as we continue to discover. We'll always be programming and watching over, monitoring robots, things like that. Obviously, we don't want some Terminator type experience, right? We've all seen all the different kinds of movies, and we've been there, done that. The thing is we have to be at the forefront of this, right? Now, so we know that the world is changing. We know new devices are coming. The amount of devices that are coming that are going to change and revolutionize your world are so mind-blowing. Right now, they have a thing where you have a wristband, and you just hold up your hand like this, and your phone just appears as a silhouette over your hand. And you just speak the number in, or who you want to call. If you want to see the phone, you can do that. Other than that, you will not even ever have to even hold a cell phone. They will be obsolete. They will die. They will be gone. Nobody will be using them anymore. They'll be a figment of your imagination from the past, right? You literally just hold up your hand and you'll just say something and it'll do that. The systems that'll be placed around us will be able to help us through this process. what is coming, ladies and gentlemen, is mind-blowing. So we talked about what's coming. I can go in for hours on all the new modern technology, but I want you to have fun and research some of this stuff. Go after it. Look at what's coming and get ready. Get ready, because it's going to be amazing. The different kinds of businesses and jobs, we've talked briefly about that. It's going to be crazy what's going to be happening. Imagine boarding an airplane with no airline pilot. It just takes off and flies on its own. Is that going to be crazy or what? That's going to be mind-blowing. Now, I don't know if you've noticed it, but airplanes have been designing a new pathway, which is really cool, right? And so if for some reason engines were to go out on a plane and it looked like it was going to go down, now the whole body detaches from the frame, and then instantly people float down softly through a variety of different parachutes, kind of like when NASA comes back or a spaceship comes back from outer space, and its pod comes through burns through our atmosphere, and once it enters into our atmosphere, then it drops a parachute and then descends down into the ocean. It'll descend very soft, and so it'll disconnect when they have those kinds of problems if something happens. So there's so many crazy things. It's actually going to be a safer world. Imagine robots being able to track down and monitor all bad people, right? Now, this is also one of those things that, something that is coming. I'm not particularly a fan of it. They've been experimenting with this in China. And by the way, guys, don't forget, go to my podcast. Well, you're probably already here listening, but if you're watching my video and you haven't seen my podcast, you can get that also. And we post this on all different kinds of podcast platforms, P2GW, The Power to Gain Wealth. Don't forget to attend our conferences on that. So right now in China, they've been experimenting in all the major cities where they have cameras set up everywhere. And in certain regions, what they're doing is they're monitoring each person. So that camera sees you, it can dial in on your eyes, it knows who you are, it has a profile on you, and it also rates how you act throughout the day. Actually rates you on, were you good today? Were you nice? Were you kind? Were you mean? Did you do something that might have been a little sketch, right? And they can track all that. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I was just rocket firing, talking so fast that had to get a drink. But the things that are coming in that area where people will be monitored and watched, and if someone does something wrong, well, then the police are sent out. People are tracked. That could be a little bit scary, right? We have to maintain control. So that we're going to all have to figure out. We have to vote in the right people, but make sure you understand that. So going back to what I was talking about a little bit earlier, because I want to talk about this, because this leads into a segue now. So I talked about what's coming in AI. I talked about the types of businesses and jobs that are going to be open to human beings and the types of things we're going to do. I have a few others, but they're kind of secret. I don't want to give them to you because I'm establishing all the business entities right now so that we can do those. Even my staff doesn't even know about these things, that what we're doing to prepare for the future. But I'm going to give you some ways to make some really incredible, potential great money. Now, this is going to be my opinion. I do have to say that. I am doing these things. I'm not going to tell you to do these things. I am not your advisor. I'm not your lawyer. I'm not your financial guru. I'm none of that to you. I'm just giving you information, right? So going back to what I talked about, our current administration worked on negotiating this contract so that all these machines that are being produced by NVIDIA are going to be made here in the United States of America. So we're pulling in AI, right? And not only that, but we're keeping the billionaires here that are working on that like crazy and producing that to keep it in America. We're working on making sure that we are supporting the manufacturing of certain components like semiconductors, a variety of different things like that here in America. We're also working on a variety of algorithms that are the training code that allows these robots to function on a better and more elevated pathway. But here's the beauty of it. Watch this. The thing is the country that controls AI will be the richest country to ever exist in human history on this planet. And that's what is coming, and that is what is happening. And that's why you see behind the scenes. I don't know if you've been watching. Many of you may not have been watching, but go back, look it up. Our current administration signed a contract with Mr. Wong. Those machines are being made right here, ladies and gentlemen. So we may still be aggregating some of the materials and some of the semiconductors currently outside of our country, but they're all being put together here. What is coming is mind-blowing. I'm going to save some of these secrets for those of you who begin to join my community because I want to build incredible, massive wealth from this. Now, I am going to give you a hint, okay? So what do you do? What can you do now? What can you do to produce some kind of income from this? I'm going to tell you. You're going to want to begin to invest. Okay, and I'm going to tell you where to invest. I'm not going to, I take that back. I am not telling you where to invest. I don't care where you invest. You invest wherever you want. I am not, again, your teacher. I'm going to tell you what I'm doing, where I'm investing, okay? So I am investing in, first of all, NVIDIA. NVIDIA is the CEO, Mr. Wong, signed the contract, creating the machines that actually allow for incredible, immense speed to be able to run AI, okay, which we need more speed, right? The other thing you're going to want to consider, and you can look into Jeff Brown. You type in manifested AI, Jeff Brown, you watch the videos, and you're going to see that he's also pushing a couple of different of stocks. One of them is called ON Semiconductor. ON typically works with cars and things like that and EVs and stuff like that. But one of the things that they are doing, which is unlike most AI companies, is they are producing the optics, kind of like these glasses, right? Optics. And what it is they are programming these optics to be able to see. So when robots have these optics in, not only are they just seeing stuff like a video camera sees stuff, but it's actually able to take in content. Now, our brains are taking in tens of thousands of bytes of information every second at every given moment, and our brain processes that information and only feeds us and tells us what we're trying to look at, because our brain knows what we're doing. It's intuitive. It understands our focus. If I'm trying to look at a picture, then it focuses on that picture. Even though it's taking in massive data, it just leaves that out and doesn't let me process it, because if my brain allowed me to process everything my eyes are seeing, my brain would fry and blow up, as would yours. And so, interesting enough, these programs are designed to train and prepare these optics. These optics are allowing robots to take in all this information, but then it's the code that needs to synthesize it down so that it knows what it's looking at, what it's focused on. It's going to be able to detect temperature. It's going to be able to understand the culture, the environment, the people around them. It's going to be able to look at all that stuff and make the best judgments we can, because everything we do, everything we go, everything we see, we're making judgments about that. Whether we like it, don't like it, are we in a safe space, are we in a bad space, are we in a sketch space? You know, what's the temperature like? I don't like this temperature. I don't like that temperature. I don't like the smell around here. It smells funny. It smells weird, or all these different kinds of things that our minds are being inundated with. Well, that's what this company is building, and the first company out the gate, and they got a head start, ON Semiconductor, are the ones that are going to make money. Now, if it does produce this, and we are expecting it to happen, because now they are using AI to program it, and it is moving at such an accelerated rate. This is the expectation of Jeff Brown, not my expectation. This is his. Now, a little bit of his backstory. He predicted Tesla when nobody else thought Tesla would go up, because they thought, what is an AI company? Because maybe you don't know, but Tesla is an AI company. It is not a car company. It is not a car company. It is not a car company. It is an AI company. That's their original intent. That's why they exist. That's where they're going. That's what they're doing. And so they are building the robots and the things that are going to be manifested in real time in our existence. Other companies are out there doing it as well, but nobody invested. But the people that did, they were instantly converted into multi-millionaires almost overnight, within 2 to 3 years. So he's saying that anybody who invests in ON and as this moves forward, in just a little bit amount of time. I don't know what that is. You're going to have to try to follow him, Jeff Brown with Manifested AI. He's expecting a 25,000% return. Think about that. Think about even if it's just a 2,500% return. A 2,500% return on $10,000 is $25 million. There will be people that are investing that kind of money into ON. There are people investing in that kind of money in ON. Now, if it jumps 25,000%, instantly that person, when it jumps, will be worth about $250 million, and they'll be able to retire for life. Now, there's going to be people who hear this. There'll probably even be staff members of mine that'll hear this and still never do anything, because that's just the way nature is, right? There are people who are unbelievers and they don't do things, right? I remember Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right? Interesting enough, an interesting segment out of there, these young men who asked, hey, teach us, we want to learn to be millionaires. He said, okay, if you want to learn under me, I will never pay you. And if you can't handle that, get away from me. I'm not going to train you, nor am I going to teach you. It is a privilege to learn from someone who knows this information, and you should be able to pay them. In fact, Robert Kiyosaki charges people to learn his information, and rightly so. People should pay to get that kind of knowledge, right? And one day they came into the warehouse where they were manufacturing and producing a bunch of stuff, and they got really ticked off because they saw all these workers in there, and they went straight to them, and in a righteous moment of anger, right? Maybe a little self-righteous, they went in and they go, why aren't you teaching these people? Why aren't you educating them? Why aren't you telling this about that? And something very wise he said. He said, young men, every day these people have access to my books. I gave them all my books for free. They could listen to them. They could read them. They could do the pathway that I'm doing. I've invited them to every meeting. Just 80% of people, which fits the Pareto principle, simply will do nothing, and then they will end up with nothing. He's like, I try. What can I do? You could lead people to water. You could lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. I see that all the time. There will be people who will do nothing. I'm hoping that you're the type of person that does something, because you only get one life, you only get one shot. And after that, you go up to be with the big guy upstairs, right? Well, hopefully, right? That's the goal. But right here, right now, while you're on this earth, what are you doing to invest? Now, there's others. You should jump into Tesla. Tesla's going to jump right back up once they start releasing these robots, because remember, they made their money on cars, but they are not a car company. They are an AI company. Tesla will jump back up. Now, that's my opinion. That's my thoughts. There's a variety of other things out there that are dabbling in AI and that kind of thing. Those are the three that I am personally doing, and I have seen some really great movements. I hope that you will jump in and do something about it. I hope that you'll go on this journey and research. I might do a segment once I get all of my trademarks and my copyrights and all of my entities set up, and then I will come back and go even deeper, and it's coming faster. Ladies and gentlemen, those who step forward into this pathway are going to make money. Whether you hate AI or love it, it's not going anywhere. It's not stopping. It's not going to end, and it is coming faster than a freight train. Right? So get ready for what's about to take place. I don't want you to miss it, because our whole world is going to be made better in many ways. We just have to monitor, watch, and be careful, right? Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Alan, the Power to Gain Wealth. I know this wasn't a particularly long podcast, but I wanted to wet your whistle. I wanted to give you some data that maybe you didn't know that's coming, because things are changing. Get ready for the change. Embrace the change. You can do this. You can become wealthy on this. Invest properly. Get smart. Learn, grow, change, and we're going to move forward together. Hey, I can't wait to see you on the next podcast, guys. Hey, I appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.